Alright, let's have a talk. I am headed out of my house. It's extremely dreary outside, right? Like, clouds are covered everywhere. It's a little spitting, like not really raining yet, but it's gonna be. And no sun at all. It sucks. Whenever it gets like this, I feel so just gross. I feel I get this like sense of fear, and I get this just like dreary, like I get a feeling of abandonment, and I get a feeling of just outright fear and anxiety, and it sucks. And I know that part of it is, a lot of people have like depression with, seasonal depression and stuff. It gets really nasty outside, and we don't feel good. We need that sunshine. I joke, I often say I'm like a plant. I can't stand up straight without sunlight. I'm just like, I need the sun to really thrive, and that is true. But I also know that I had childhood trauma experience where this really fucked me up with this kind of weather. And even though I know it, and it happened when I was 11, it still like affects me big time. I don't want it to, and I know where it came from, but that doesn't seem to help much. So that sucks. And now, I have agoraphobia, and it's really, really hard for me to leave my house. It's been over 2 years. I haven't went further than like 3 miles from my house. And that sucks. It prevents me from doing a lot of things, and I hate it. It makes me feel ashamed. It makes me feel like a piece of shit. It makes me feel like I'm worthless. And I hate that. And I don't want anyone else to feel like that. And so that's why I'm, talking about stuff like this and getting on here, because we need to talk about that kind of stuff to destigmatize it so we can help one another. Because if we don't talk about it, I'm backing out. So I'm trying to do safety first, talk second. But yeah, I hate it. So it's not my fault like that I feel like this. It is my fault, I guess, if I let myself stay like this, or like if I don't at least try. I can't say that everybody or even myself can overcome agoraphobia, but I sure hope so. I haven't always had it. Like, I guess I've always had it, but it doesn't always get this bad to where I can't even really leave. So so dreary out. Backing out of here sucks. But yeah, so anyways, I guess that's what I'm going with right now. And I'm forcing myself to get out because it's exposure therapy, and it's a chance for me to feel better, I guess, in the long run. In the short run, this sucks. I have a lot of anxiety. I'm feeling very tense and scared, and that's no fun. But I will go to the store, and I will come back and hopefully feel a little better and relieved to have gotten out and gotten this, anxiety out. But I don't know if I'll post this or not, or if I'm just making this for myself. But if this is going out to anyone else, this is Christmas Eve. I hope you have a good one. I hope tomorrow you have a great Christmas. It's been a hard time this year for me, and I look forward to the new year. I'm hoping that this year brings good things, and I know that I'm going to have a better attitude and outlook for the new year. I'm going to try to focus on positive stuff, every day, and that will make things better. So that's good. I got my co-pilot here, Miha, and she does make me feel better when I'm driving. And yeah, it sucks. I need to go to a store that is too far. Like, it's right on the edge. It's like 3 miles, but 3 miles on a day like today is fucking mind-bogglingly hard, and it seems impossible for me. Like, 3 miles feels like an hour, you know, like when you are really suffering from anxiety and agoraphobia and traffic phobia. I don't think that's a word, but I have phobia with traffic, so traffic phobia sounds okay to me. Anywho, yeah, so I'm driving. I feel anxious. I feel like my chest is really tight. I feel like my breathing is shallow, so I stop there, you know, and let it out, slow down, and some deeper breaths. I'm first going to head to the pet store. I had a friend pick up some mealworms, but they picked up superworms. My geckos are way too small to eat superworms. These freaking things would eat my gecko. Not really, but they are big. And it's creepy as shit. I opened up the container and I was thinking of seeing these little mealworms, but instead I saw these giant black superworms, and I was like, oh! Feel like butthead. Whoa! Oh man. Alright, so driving. I am anxious fuckers. But yeah, so I'm getting out, trying to do what I need to do to feel better in the long run. And these short exposures to it are really beneficial for my overall mental health. Not in the short run, but in the long run. And I try not to think about the long run in many ways. Like, I try to just live moment to moment. But I know there's a possibility that I'm going to be alive tomorrow. And since there's a possibility that I'm going to be alive tomorrow, and maybe the next day, I want to do whatever I can do today to make my tomorrow better without having to sacrifice today. If that makes sense. So, I don't want to, it's, I guess, a balancing act, you know, like, you want to enjoy your day, but you don't want to do things that are going to jeopardize your tomorrow that you might have. And I think I'm getting a good balance with that, and I'm working on my different mental health issues, and that's all I can do, is do my best. I'm definitely reaching out more to people. I'm sharing more. I'm trying to be open about things, and that way, you know, I'm getting it out, but that is not really what I need to do right now. I don't need to get it out like I've gotten it out. I've been through therapy like so for decades, you know, and it's good at first to get it out, but then, you know, I think it's good to move on and focus on, you know, the moment, the present moment, and not think about the past or the future, but just do the best you can. The reason I'm sharing my, you know, experiences from the past or the present, and like my anxiety and different things, is because I want to help destigmatize, you know, the whole mental health problem, and about talking about it. And when I open up, it seems like more people then open up to me, and so I'm doing it for other people, and hopefully we can destigmatize it enough and actually support one another and realize that we're all going through some crazy shit. We'll give each other some slack, you know, and we really need that. guess I'll tell you. In 11th grade, when I was like 10 or 11, I was going into the 5th grade. My mom and dad separated, like, for the last time. They've done it, plenty of other times before that, but that's for another time, I guess. But anyways, they separated, and my mom got an apartment. And this is the first time, she had gotten an apartment. Like, usually they'd break up and we'd go stay with family for, a little while. Anywho, so we moved out, and Dad kept all of our stuff. He wouldn't let us back in the house to get our things, and so, we it sucked, and she had to call the cops and stuff and get them to tell him, hey, you gotta let them have their things, so you don't, let them have their things, you're gonna be held in contempt, blah blah blah. So he was like, okay, I'll let them have their things. So he took all of our stuff, he set it out at the trash curb, and it was pouring down rain and gloomy as fuck. And we went, and I remember just like still have flashbacks about it, like where it's like we're there, and Dad is at the house, but he's not, he's not gonna answer the door. He's not, like, I can't see him, or anything like that. Like, we get there, and I'm like, just really sad, really confused, and it's pouring down rain, and we get out of my mom's car, and we notice all the stuff is there at the trash, and we're like out trying to get our stuff, and put it in the car, and like everything's soaking and everything's wet, and I'm looking at the house, and like I just remember kind of thinking like, what the hell, what did I do to deserve this? What's wrong with me? Like, like I know they were getting divorced, but what does that have to do with our relationship and stuff, and it sucked, and that memory always stuck with me, and it has, and I would go back, for a long time after that, and go to his house, because we lived right 1 block away at that point, and I go back and I knock on the door, and he wouldn't answer. He said he couldn't be a part-time father, so he's just not going to be in our lives. It was too hard for him, which is total bullshit. Think about the kids, not yourself, ass. But yeah, so like I can't tell you how many times I went to his house and would bang on the door for a long time, and sometimes I would see him peep out or something, and sometimes I wouldn't, but I knew when he was there because he only had the one vehicle, and it sucked, and it was really hard. And then like sometimes I would see him out in public and try to get his attention or something, and maybe just kind of ignore me, and went on. And this went on for many, many years. It wasn't until I was of age, and he didn't have to pay child support anymore that he then answered, and we had a little relationship for a little while after that, and then he just flaky as fuck, it's like and so anyways, I'll stop there. But that's why, though, I think now the rain really fucks with me, like, I have those flashbacks to that moment, and it might not seem like, I guess, like some horrible traumatic event, and there's definitely way worse things that happened to me in my childhood by him, and I don't understand why that particular thing impacted me so much, but it did, and it still does, and it's crazy. It's like, and I know I believe that's why, the rain and everything fucks with me so much. But even with knowing that, it doesn't help. And that's where I say, like, talking about it is not like the cure-all. And it doesn't just make things better. And sometimes talking about things like over and over and over can just re-traumatize you. And so I try not to go over and over that kind of stuff. I don't talk about it. I have talked about it in the past, with therapists, and worked through those things, doing steps and everything. But Sorry, I have a splinter I'm trying to get out. But knowing that and working through that still does not stop the intrinsic feeling, that visceral feeling, I guess I should say, like when it gets like this, the rainy, dreary feeling, it doesn't make it any less powerful. Like internally, like I just automatically get scared and feel abandoned when it is this weather. And that really sucks. And I'm hoping it's not like that forever, but I mean, that was a long, long time ago, and it still affects me. So, one thing I've found that does help with, intrusive thoughts or with like flashbacks, things of that nature, is that when they happen, you literally shake it off like a dog shaking off the rain, and then you move on. You change your environment. Change your environment, change your mind. And so right now, I'm pulled over. I'm sitting outside the pet store. I'm going to go in here before I do. I'm going to shake it out, and then I'm going to go in there. So, shake it off. And until next time, love who you have while you got them. Because you don't know when they're going to go away, or you're going to go away. I hope you have a great Christmas. Be cool to people.